What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the printing and distribution rate for the rewards cards. We are now 1 month in and 2 seasons. And what's nice about this is that we can kind of extrapolate out how long it will take for us to print through some of the newer rewards cards. Now, I haven't really been looking at the older ones, but I know that we are trending above 50% across all of them, I believe. Yes, so the commons are over 60%, almost at 65, and then the rares, epics, and legendaries are all in the low 50s. So we're getting there. It's just hard to... I haven't been tracking them monthly, so that's why I'm just really looking at the newer ones. But I think we are in a position now where we are seeing the lowest possible prices for some of these cards, because as we start to round the corner around maybe 70-ish%, I think we may see the supply crunch come in. Now, I'm not saying that the amount of... I'm not saying that the prices will go up necessarily or they'll spike up in value. All I'm saying is that we are at a point where once we can start to see that finish line, the people who want to start collecting them will, right? And so that's just kind of where we're at right now. We're at a point where I think everybody has had their fill with these older rewards cards, all different rarities. And so at this point in time, sure, some people are still accumulating, some people are still trying to level up, myself included. And we'll see what happens in maybe by the end of summer if we can get towards like 70-ish%. So looking at the newer cards, though, let's start from the top. We're at about 4% on the legendaries, 6.5% on the epics, 7% on the rares, and then for the commons, we're at 7.3%. So I've already done the math here just to kind of share it out with you. And the way that we are printing the commons and, well, really, yeah, I guess the commons and rares at about 7%. When you take 100 divided by 7, you get roughly 13, which is 13 months, meaning that we should expect these to print out in about a year. Now, this is much slower than what I had originally anticipated in a previous video covering this, because we were printing so much after the first couple of days, if you guys remember. And my thought process for the change in this and the slowdown is just due to the fact that we had a lot of people playing early on. And so with a lot of people playing, there was a lot of stuff being printed across all different leagues, and the excitement was just kind of there. And maybe, just maybe, we should say that the numbers might not be accurate, although Splinter Cards, I would trust this data over most other, well, actually, Splinter Cards, I don't know if any other resource has this data, so I'm going to trust it and assume that it's at least the most accurate that we can get outside of getting something specifically from the team. So with that being said, when we look at the legendaries, this is where things really start to lag. And with these being at about 4%, we're closing in on maybe like 2 years, right? That's 25 months. So if we only do 4% per month, that's 25 months in which it would take for us to print through all of these cards. Now, it's not going to be a clean 25 months. Obviously, things are going to change. And over the next 2 years, I do anticipate the game will potentially grow. Despite the fact that we're in a bear market, I think that there still might be some interest. And if Splinterlands can continue to deliver, that rate could increase. The thing is, what I'm also anticipating is that once Modern and Wild come out, and this will be good to watch, once Modern and Wild come out, you'll have many more people playing in Diamond and Champion, where the drop rates for legendaries are much higher. So we could see these the legendaries start to catch up with the rest of them, maybe by the end of July. Well, not by the end of July, but whenever we get Modern format, which hopefully should be sometime in July, we will start seeing a little bit of pacing that would increase, so that they would eventually catch up to not Ever Hungry Skull, but the commons and rares. Now, will it all be clean like this? Obviously not. I think the commons are going to be the ones that get used the most, and especially since we're seeing a lot of bot activity now come back into the mix. If the bots decide to stay down in bronze, at least the majority of them decide to stay down in bronze, they'll probably be getting and farming a ton of the common cards. So these are always going to be the leader of the pack, in my opinion. But we should start to see an increased amount on the legendaries. And what's interesting, if we just go over here to the market, is that when we look at the common cards, sorry, I didn't want to look at Chaos Legion. So the common rewards cards. So we see that the new common rewards cards are kind of in line. They're all at a penny. We see the same thing on rares as well. Sure, Dhampir Infiltrator is a solid card, maybe one of my favorites of the new reward set. But at this point, it's like double, which is significant, right? But we're talking about 4 cents versus 2 cents. So it's not like people are running away making out like bandits for selling their Dhampir Infiltrators at 4 cents, but that's kind of just what the market is valuing it at. When we look at epics as well, they are very much in line, 15 cents, 14 cents, and then 13 cents for Uraeus. And I would still make the argument that I think Uraeus is probably one of the better ones out of all of the current rewards cards. But it's when we get to the legendary cards that you start to see a breakdown. So sure, Jin O'Shaughnessy is popular. Jared Scar, I feel like, is underutilized. But Venator Kinjo and Countess Sinesh, who have very strong utility, whether it's with him being a neutral legendary or her being used with someone like Yodin, for example. These are double, maybe even triple in some cases of the current rewards cards, due to the fact that they are not printed yet. So if you're trying to snipe these and you can wait, then I would probably recommend waiting, because if you just look at the numbers here, we only have to get to like maybe 7%, 6% print rate in order for there to be some kind of parity with the prices. So this is just where we are at right now. Again, do I think that it's going to take us 2 years? No, I don't. And I anticipate that we will probably see an increase or influx of players over time that would increase the demand on some of these cards. But is that happening anytime soon? No. And soon for me is this summer. And I know we're talking about Summer of Splinterlands, but keep in mind, we're already in July. This is technically Q3. And with that being the case, we have the end of the airdrop coming up. We have some cool announcements that are down the road, but no implementations of those announcements. So we will see if those announcements can draw in people, and then we will see when those implementations end up coming in, such as maybe new games that come through, or different modes. I don't really know what else there is outside of Modern and Wild, Land, and then obviously Rift Watchers. But Rift Watch, like, I look at Rift Watchers, I'm just like, that's not going to bring anybody in, right? That's something for current players. Land could be interesting for those who are waiting for Land. But again, we don't have the implementation of that. And even the phase 1 implementation isn't going to be playable. It'll still just be owning and opening your packs, but not being able to do anything with them for the time being. So I think we're still a while away from the influx of players, but as we get closer, maybe towards the end of the year, and more things start to get implemented and the team starts to make some changes. Again, I've been very, very happy with the teams taking in of feedback and making quick changes. We got some major changes within a month of the ranked rewards being put out there, and we already have some other things on the horizon. We don't have a time frame for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the month of July, right? I'm referencing the post about the ranked rewards updates for things like, well, things like season-long rentals, the daily focus changes for adding in different types of daily focuses, things like that. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a current player. There's maybe not as much to be excited about if you're waiting for assets to go to the moon, because I think that is only going to happen with the current supply. That is only going to happen with new players coming in, and I'm not seeing that right now. People are just scared with the way the economy is, and I don't think that playing a crypto game where you have to invest thousands to make some rewards on it is where people are choosing to allocate their funds. At least not the responsible ones. The degenerate ones like us, we have fun with it. So it is what it is. But that's all I have for you in this video. I'm curious to get your thoughts on how you are approaching your rewards card strategy. For me, I am no longer selling my rewards cards. I am keeping them, and I'm starting to level them up. I am also actively not going out and buying the new ones because, there's still a lot of Chaos Legion that I want to get, and I feel like Chaos Legion, even though I'm kind of waiting for the end of the airdrop, I am starting to dollar cost average in, whether that's buying more packs or that is buying certain cards just to max out my deck for gold, because I don't even have a gold max deck yet. But with Modern and Wild around, Modern format, I should say, around the corner, that's something that I want to be able to play at the highest levels of. So that's all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.